Hi, this is Andrea with Northern Whimsy Art Studio, and this is the Mosaic Mermaid Kit. This video will walk you through the basics of gluing your glass and all your other mosaic pieces onto your base. This kit is recommended for ages 12 and up due to the fact that it has sharp glass pieces. Please be careful that when you open your glass and pour it in anything, don't wipe your hand across the table. These are glass pieces and there tends to be some shards in there. So just be safe and make sure that if your kiddos are doing this project with you, they have supervision. These kits are not meant to be left outside. The base that they're on is MDF and it is not water resistant. So just keep in mind that these are meant for inside use or inside display. Getting started on these kits, you're going to have 4 different cups of glass in this kit. One for the hair, one for the tail, some of your accent pieces, and then your skin color. There's 2 different mermaid kits. One of them is the Sitka and the other one is the Juno. So you may have the different hair color and skin color in your kit depending on which one you chose. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. You can contact us at northernwhimsyart@gmail.com. So to start out with the mosaic, I like to start out by just drawing some basic lines. So I'm just going to draw where her tail is going to start and then her face. Just kind of getting a basic outline of where her hair is going to come down. It's not going to be perfect because you're going to kind of play around with it with her, with your glass pieces, depending on the glass pieces you have. You can even make a little piece come down here. However you want to do it, or you can just make a basic line. I think I'm going to skip that there. I don't know that I like that much. So play with it a little bit and see where you like it. I think I'm just going to go straight across though. Okay, so really that's all you need to place because you're going to place your seashells there for her bikini. So those will go there, you know that. And then you have your starfish that's going to go in her hair. And the rest of these, I'm just going to pour out up here. The rest of them are the separator for her bikini. And you can do whatever you want here. This is totally up to your interpretation of how you want to use these materials. But this is how I intended to put it together. So you can kind of play around with that. So that's kind of the basics there. So what I'm going to do to get started is I'm actually going to start with her bikini line here and then work my way down on her tail. And then I'll just flip her upside down, excuse me, and I will work my way up from there. You can start at the top and work your way down. That is totally great too. I just am specifically starting with this line because I know it's a specific line here. So that's where I'm going to start. You just want to make sure that you're working one direction and working away from it so that your hand isn't bumping the stuff that you're working on. So just keep that in mind. When you're placing your mosaic materials, you're going to leave a little space in between your materials so that the grout can go down in between it. And the next video will show you how the grouting process goes. So there is the basic grouting video that you can watch to see the grouting process. So I'm just starting by placing my beads there. I'm putting enough glue that the beads can sit down in it, but not so much glue that it comes over the top. So tweezers work great for this if you have a pair of tweezers you would like to use. And I'm laying my beads up on their side. You can set them down flat also. That's up to you. I just am choosing to not see that hole in them, so I'm laying them on their side. But making sure I have enough glue on them, under them, that they are going to sit down into that glue and not pop up when we go to grout. Looks like there's plenty of these green beads. So you could even do a double layer on them if you want to do a thicker band for her fin. And I think I might just do that. Or for the top of her fin. So this is a little different than the one I did for the example, but that's the nice thing about these kits is you can customize these based on the materials that are in there. Look and see what you want to do. Just plan ahead a little bit so you know you have enough materials to work with. And you can add other materials into this. So if you have old jewelry or coins, really anything, you can add your own items into these kits. This Weld Bond glue is designed to hold metal, plastic, glass, really anything. So if you have some little gems or things that you want to add in, please do so. And I love to see pictures of how people customize theirs. And I just use that pencil tip to kind of move that around. Tweezers work really good too if you want to use tweezers on these also. So when I'm picking my pieces for this, I'm picking pieces that are going to fit. They're going to fit along this edge. I don't want my pieces hanging over the edge necessarily. If I do that on purpose, that's fine. You can leave your pieces hanging over the edge. You need to make sure they're glued enough in the area that they're on. But you can leave them hanging over. It's just when you go to grout, it's going to be a little trickier. So on these forms in particular, I tend to stick right along the edge of the design there and not go outside of it. So I'm going to pour out my glass here on the table. Again, just be careful you don't wipe your hand across there because you can get glass shards in your fingers, so just be very careful. So then I'm just going to pick pieces that are going to mimic that outside edge and follow the line there. So I'm going to hold off on that one, get one that's a little more square. And then this glass does have two different color sides on it, so you can pick which side you want to use. But that just follows that outside line there nicely, so I'm going to use that one. And this one I'm going to push a little glue over to this edge. I got a little too much there in the middle, so I usually try to keep a baby wipe somewhere close so that I can wipe my fingers, or just a wet paper towel. Wipe my fingers from the glue if I get glue on my fingers. Trying to keep the same amount of gap between each piece. So my grout is going to go in between those pieces. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap, but I want to try and keep it as consistent as possible. Adding a little more glue. Your glue in the past has come in these little containers. We just got our shipment from Weld Bond, so we will actually have bottled glue in the kits from here on out. So that's kind of changing a little bit with as we get our kits a little more refined. I do want to save some of my triangle pieces for when I get to these edges of my fin also, so just kind of keep that in mind. If you find pieces that you think are going to be perfect there, you can kind of think ahead a little bit. I'm just going to spread these. It doesn't fit perfectly in there. It's a little small, so I'm just going to make the space as even as I can and spread it out through there so that you can't tell. So your pieces don't have to fit 100% perfect. Don't get bogged down in trying to find it, just the right perfect size piece. Move your pieces around it. So when I'm gluing, I don't glue the whole thing, because if I put glue on the entire tail, I'm not going to be able to work that fast enough before it dries out. So I just put like a 1 inch, kind of a 1 by 1 inch there, maybe a little more glue spot, so that I can just work that at my leisure. I don't have to hurry to finish the whole thing. So just keep that in mind when you're putting your glue on your piece. And one side of this glass is very shiny, so I like to try and get as much of that shiny stuff facing up as I can. Something I forgot here as I'm going is I want to add in some of these gems, so I'm actually going to come back in here, and I forgot that as I was going here, so I'm going to pull that guy out, and I'm going to put this piece in right here. That big one will fit right there, I think. Just going to slide this over a little if I can. There. And I'm going to add these gems in as I go. So luckily this glue is pretty forgiving, and you can play around with stuff. I just wasn't thinking about those. I forgot about my gems. I got one right there. I'm going to put another one. Put another smaller one right here, and just kind of stagger them throughout the tail just to add a little more sparkle to her. And you can choose to add the gems if you want to, or you can skip them. That's up to you. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and speed up this video I think you have a good concept of placing your glass here. But I'm going to keep working my way down the tail, and then I'm going to come up and place my bikini pieces and then fill in with my skin tone around that. So I'll go ahead and finish this tail and then we'll come back to that. So we finished the tail here on the mermaid, and so the next step is going to be starting with her skin color here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put some glue on her body here. And I'm going to start by placing the two bikini pieces. And getting those where I want them to be. Making sure there's enough glue underneath them that they set kind of down into it so they don't come loose. And just getting in position just how I want them. Okay, so then what I'll start doing is I'm going to use my pencil, kind of wipe or move this green glass out of here. I'm done with it. And then I'm going to get my pink glass out. And then what I'll do from here is just start placing my skin colors and working my way around those bikini pieces. And then we'll just go ahead and finish up the piece. So I'll do her skin color here on her face and her hair. I'll place the starfish and work around that. And really that's all there is to placing your glass. The next step will be the grouting process, and there will be a video that shows you that. You want to let this dry for approximately 12 hours or whenever your glue is nice and clear. You can grout at that point. For the grouting process, you'll need a pair of rubber gloves, an old yogurt cup or something to rinse your sponge in, and you will need a little t-shirt or rag or something that you can use to wipe it up. So just keep that in mind before you get started. That's all explained in the video. I appreciate you purchasing your kit from Northern Whimsy Art Studio. Feel free to reach out and share your finished products with me if you like. Post it on social media or send it to our email. We love seeing the projects that you finish up.